Hi, I'm Samara and today I'm going to be talking to you about hyper-local leadership. Now, the internet will tell you that local leaders within a community who care deeply about that community and have the ability to influence the people living there will have the greatest impact. The internet will also tell you that the most likely leaders will be people like counsellors, head teachers, and those who are big in business, mainly due to the fact that these are seen to have connections and have the authority to get things done. And I don't disagree, but if we want to build on hyper-local leadership, we need to look a little bit closer to home. We need to look at people like you and people like me. Let's go back to what the internet said about what the fundamentals were of local leadership. So first of all, to care deeply about a community. No one cares more about their community than those who have their roots firmly planted in that place. People who work in their community, have families and friends there. Maybe the children go to local schools, sports clubs, brownies or scouts. People who are invested on a personal level make the best hyper-local leaders. And then secondly, having the ability to influence others. And I'm not talking about those people who call themselves influencers because they've got thousands of followers on Instagram, or those people who have YouTube channels where people watch them unwrap Kinder Surprises. I'm talking about the people that can influence others because we trust them. People care what they have to say, and importantly, people believe what they say. People you talk to on a human level, day in and day out. Your hairdresser, for example, the other parents in the playground, your taxi driver, people you see at mosque, Joan down the road. People like you, people like me. I asked some of my friends on Facebook, what does local leadership look like to you? And the exciting thing was about this is just like any community, everyone had a different opinion and everyone's was incredibly valid. One person talked about developing and instilling values that will help individuals and communities be the best version of themselves. Someone else talked about that you need to know what people local to you need and talked about mobilising local resources. Talking, listening, caring, inspiring others to making a positive contribution. Someone importantly said, we need to remember the quiet ones. We're only as good as the person next to us. Giving others ownership and recognition. Someone talked about a leader having integrity and believes in and delivers what they believe in. They're engaging and motivating. They inspire and encourage collective innovation. They understand the character of their community. They bring people with you. Interestingly though, most comments that you've heard were extremely positive. However, it's important to acknowledge that there were some less positive comments too. One person commented that the term leadership and local leadership in particular are overused and often by incompetent people. And two other people were concerned that they didn't feel that leaders always reflected their values and that in fact leaders were often far removed and out of touch with those that they served. Now let me bring you right back to the point and tell you about how we've built hyper-local leadership here in Rosendale. And I might like to add at this point that I could have given dozens of examples here because we're amazing at this in Rosendale. So think back to early March. Seems like a blooming long time ago now, doesn't it? People had started to get poorly. Rumours were flying about about a virus and people started to get scared. But people wanted to do something to help, but weren't exactly sure what. So I set up a Facebook group and invited the people in my local community to join if they either needed some help or they wanted to help others. The group quickly took off, but we knew that not everyone who needed help was on social media. I printed off viral kindness leaflets that people could pop into their neighbours' doors, explaining how they could help them. Over 2,500 were delivered in under 2 weeks. Now that is testament to people who mobilised, who cared, and who knew what their community needed, and most importantly, remembered the quiet ones. This small group was already becoming local leaders. Now lockdown hit, and this group really shifted up a gear. Although I started this group, there was no hierarchy, and everyone held as much power as each other. There was shared influence, and it was obvious that everyone cared deeply. This model meant that people learnt new skills, became even more embedded in their community, supported people to take ownership of their area of expertise. We had befrienders. People went shopping for other people. They collected medication, made welfare calls. People made and delivered scrub bags, collected hand creams for nurses. It was just so heartwarming to be a part of it. But even more heartwarming was that as we exited the first lockdown, the group of 525 strong wanted to actively support people on an ongoing basis, come what may. And then roll on to October the 31st, 2020. Lockdown has been ordered again. So what happened? Yep, you guessed it. The offers of help came rolling in. People had built up on those leadership qualities from the first lockdown. They mobilised, they understood the character of their community, and they delivered what they believed in. So to get back to the very crux of this talk, what is hyperlocal leadership? Well, it's simple. It could be you. It could be me. And it is. It's there in all of us. Rosendale, you're just blooming amazing.